Hello everyone, this is me Mosmi and welcome to my channel. So, you know what? I am in dilemma that I want to speak English flawlessly, but I don't get that sufficient time to practice. As you know, apart from this, I have to do studies, I have to go to college, even my household chores I can't avoid. I can't avoid them. Therefore, after completing this all work, I feel exhausted. I feel exhausted and don't feel to practice. Therefore, I am lacking to give time, to make time for learning this language. So, this was my problem, and I know you are also facing the same problem. So, how to get rid of this problem? You need solutions, and I am here for giving you solution. Okay, see, this is just a language and we have to put extra effort for learning this language, because if we learn this language we will boost our confidence level. The confidence level will be go high from here to here. Therefore we need to boost this skill, right? And for that we have to cut out our time, else it is not possible to learn this language. Now I want to mention one thing, that is you have to be obsessed for learning this language. You have to be hungry. Means that doesn't matter how busy you are, you have to practice it every single day. You have to manage your time. For that, I want to give you a strategy that is quite convenient to follow. You can follow it, okay? So now coming to the point, but before that, I would like to share you one quote, that is, find a way, not an excuse. Yes, you have to find a way, not an excuse. That means how busy you are, it doesn't matter. It is an excuse that you are making. No, you have to find a way from your excuse, okay? So our topic was how to learn a language if we are busy, right? This was our problem. So first of all, you have to be clear that you have very less time. Therefore, you have to follow just prior activity, okay? I'm gonna suggest you which are more effective for you, okay? Which will give you a very rapid result. I'm gonna suggest you that activities, okay? And first is, you have to learn and remember one vocabulary plus one phrasal verb every day. Yes, it is just single one vocabs you have to remember and single one phrasal verb you have to remember. Phrasal verb, that means just like look after, look back, and I have to come across. And these are the phrasal verb that is quite common, everybody use. So you have to learn every day one vocab and one phrasal verb. If you will follow this for 1 week, you will store 6 vocabulary and 6 phrasal verb in your mind. And I think learning one vocabulary and one phrasal verb is more beneficial than learning more than one vocabulary, like 4 to 5 vocabulary and more than one phrasal verb is. Because when you are learning 5 or 4 vocabs, at that time you don't get that much memory power to remember it for long, like for in a long term memory. You will be unable, right? Even you will be unable to use it properly. I think in my time I was not aware of this activity, that I should have to follow one vocab in a single day so that I could be able to implement it properly. But I was not aware of that, and therefore I was recalling and remembering 5 vocabs every day, and it was not worthwhile. It was just, I can say, waste of my effort, because I was putting effort, no doubt, but I was unable to use that 5 vocabulary during my conversation and during my activity. So what is the use? There is no use if I am not able to implement it. So this is something qualitative, okay? Next is listening podcast. Yes, this is quite common and it is very essential that you have to listen. And I know you might be thinking, we don't have time, so how can you say this, that we have to listen? Let me explain it. That you don't need time for that, be clear. Because what exactly you have to do, you have to kill two birds with one stone. Did you get it? No? Okay. Like you have to do two works together. Okay? For example, if you are a student, then you can utilize your time. It's not time utilizing, it's something that is crazy, but if you are busy, you have to do this. If you are a student, then you have to listen podcast whenever you are having your meal. That means in the lunch time and dinner time. Yes, whenever you are having your lunch, start podcast and start having your lunch. Because when we take our lunch, it took minimum 10 minutes. In my case, it is 15 minutes and more than 15. So I don't know what about you, but I will consider minimum 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So you are getting that 10-minute time. During that time, you have to listen. Just start podcast and start having your lunch. Okay? So 10 minutes I will consider. Then at the night time, dinner time, start podcast and have your dinner. In this way, you will be able to utilize your time. Like you don't have time, still you are listening, still you are doing this activity. Okay, you have to do this activity. Apart from that, if you are a worker or if you are a employee, okay, what you have to do? You travel, right? Because if we are working somewhere, of course we have to travel by bus, by bike, by anything. So while you will travel, be clear. If you are driving, then no, you don't have to do this. But if you are not driving, just traveling by bus or by any other vehicle, then you have to start listening podcast. Okay, and you can listen any other thing what is related to your interest. So you have to listen, and in this way you would be able, like you don't need to make and cut out extra time for listening. You can follow this activity during your busy schedule. Okay, this is something that you have to do. And if you are a housewife or you are a student, because student, employee and housewife, we cook food, right? We have to cook food. Yeah, we have a stomach, and for that we have to cook food, no doubt. So during that time you have to listen. In my case, it almost take 1.5 hours to cook food. So can you see this? 1.5 hours you can listen. So it's pleasure, somehow you are not getting time in your busy schedule, you are listening. So I used to do it a lot. Therefore I am suggesting you, it is helpful that just start cooking and start your podcast, listen and cook it. Okay, in this way you will able to follow this task in your convenient time, in your convenient way and comfort zone. Now the very important, that is actively practicing. Yes, you have to practice actively. That means you have to speak. And this is one task, this is one activity that is most prior to follow every day. And for this activity, you have to cut out your time, no doubt. I can't suggest you something that you could do together while you are working. No, this is something you have to cut out your time. So, see, you have 24 hours, right? Everybody has 24 hours. So, I don't think that in this 24 hour we are busy for 24 hours. Not at all. Maybe we are working for 6 hours, for 7 hours, and if you are a student, you have to focus on your studies, so you are spending maybe 7, 8 and 9, 10 hours. Okay, but rest of them 1 hour, yeah, 1 hour you are free. Like it is totally, I am just unable to accept it that you are busy entire day. No, you are free, but the thing is you are tired. Yes, you work hard, therefore you are tired, right? But you have to practice. First is that you have to practice with your partner. Second, you have to do self-talk. Yes, both is very important. First, talk with partner for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and self-talk, it might be 10 minutes enough. Yes. So for talking and for having a conversation with partner, there are some kind of online platform where you can get partner randomly. And for self talk, you are enough for that. Yes, you are enough for that. Just start your recorder and start recording, and write down day 1, day first. Okay, so day first to day 6 you have to write down, and later on you have to compare that. Okay, I will mention this thing in the later topic. This activity you must have to follow. See, if you are busy entire day, then at the night you are free, right? But you are exhausted, you are tired, still you have to practice. Yes, you have to practice. It doesn't matter. You have to give pain yourself because you want to achieve something. You have to torture yourself, not in a negative way but in a positive way. You have to torture. That means you have to force and push your body, push your mind, that now it's time to practice. I have done my listening, I have done my vocab, like one vocab and one phrasal verb. You can easily remember whenever you will get that 5-minute free time. Okay, so you have done your both of the task. Now it is last one, that is most prior practicing. So for that you have to torture yourself in a positive way. That means just make your time like 20 minutes for having a partner and 10 minutes for self talk. So it is 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes that you have to give in active practicing. Okay, now the next is weekly flashcard. What is it? So weekly flashcard, that is a kind of assessment that you have to assess how what are the things you have learned and how much you have learned. You have to try to recall it. Okay, just recall that in the end of the week you have learned this much vocabulary, this much phrasal verb, and next you have to compare. You have to compare your day 1 recorder to day 6 recorder. What are the difference that you get, and what are the mistakes that you are making, and you have to enhance, you have to improve that mistake. Okay, you have to do that. So weekly flashcard, you have to do 2 things only. First is 6 vocab that you recall it. You have to try to implement it. Just write down 6 sentences for that. For this you have to put effort, because you have to do this activity in Sunday, in your holiday. You have enough time, you have enough time. So why not you can put effort to just assess yourself, and this is something that will give you rapid result. Yes, like you are so busy, and this all activity I am suggesting you according to your time schedule that you are busy, therefore. Otherwise there are a lot of activity that I used to follow because I was busy, but still I was I was totally hungry for that, for this language. I can't imagine this. Anyway, so now I would like to mention one more activity, that is jot down something in English. What exactly it is? It is writing something in English. It is one of my favorite. Yes, writing journals, writing diary. I have 4 and 5 diaries, to be honest. I will show you in another video, and it is very beneficial, literally. This is optional for you. Like I am flowing in my emotion. I am fall in love actually with writing. Therefore I am controlling my emotion, that it is optional for you. You have to follow this if you have time and if you found it interesting. Okay, just write down one single paragraph. It's enough, because when you are writing something, your mind is active. Your mind is in the present moment and active moment. So that is the best thing to do to learn a language. Just write down and just speak. This too I give most prior. But if you have time, then follow this. If you don't have time, then you can skip. That 3 steps that I suggested you, that are enough to follow in your busy schedule. Okay, now let's talk about Sunday. So what I want to talk about Sunday. See, Sunday is like a fun day, but you don't have to spend like a fun day for last 3 or 6 months. Like whatever time duration you have fixed to learn this language. If it is 6 months, then you have to be clear in your mind that for this 6 months, I am in a mission. I have to struggle. I have to push myself. I have to force myself. I have to be motivated. I don't have to be desperate. but it is natural to be desperate and disappointed. But you have to convince, you have to try to convince. If you are being disappointed, it is a part of, it is a part of learning process. If you are learning something, you will definitely get disappointment and desperate kind of things. Okay, so be normal for that. So Sunday, you have to make at least 2 hours to learn this language. That means 1 hour you can give listening. If you are not fond of listening, then 30-minute listening and 30-minute writing. It's interesting, really. It's really helpful. Okay, and by listening you can store vocabulary. You don't need to read any books, okay, because reading is something that we can store vocabulary, but you can store vocabulary by listening. When you are listening, suppose you are traveling and you are listening, and you found you have to give full focus for that. You found a new unfamiliar word that you are not familiar with, then you just have to open your notepad or whatever you have application, just write down that vocab with meaning. You can do it. Yeah, you are traveling, you are not doing anything, just by listening quietly. So if you are getting randomly any new word, then just write down. And same thing, if you are cooking and you are listening, you got something new vocab, then just write down in your phone. You have this gadget. This is the kind of gadget which make everything in our fingertips. So this was all that I wanted to share with you today in this video, and I hope this will help you. And now I have to go. I have to end up this video. Did I forget something? Yes. Now it's story time. Did you forget? I told you before in the beginning of the video, I have to share my story. Okay, how I used to practice this language when I was in my busy schedule. So it was a tragic story that I want to share. Really, I want to share with you. So it was my 1 month internship from our college. Yes, I am pursuing B.Ed, and it was compulsion to go. And my target was also there that I have to learn this language, I have to be fluent in this language, and therefore I have to give my 100% as much as I can practice this language. Okay, but what was happening actually, I have to go out for school 7:30 a.m. and then I used to come to home. It was around 5:30 last. Okay, then entire day I was in school, full of tiredness, right? And then in coming to the home, I had my meal, then I used to have nap. And you know that after being that much tired, that entire day you are out and you can't have a short nap. It is so difficult to have a short nap. So I used to have a nap for 2 hours and 3 hours. Still my body was like, no, you can't wake up. But I was pushing myself, like I was unable to even open my eyes, and my body was full of pain that I can't wake up, because I was such a lazy person. Yeah, that's why. Then I just push myself. I make my mind, no, you have to wake up now, you have to get up now, and you have to practice. If nothing, then you have to practice at least 2 and 3 activities for learning this language. Then it was the time of might be 9 or 10 at the night. Okay, I used to sit on my study table and I used to start my practicing. First it was maybe listening and then writing as one of my favorite. Then I used to practice. It was conversation, but at the night time I don't feel to have conversation, so I don't used to have conversation. I used to talk to myself. I used to do recording my voice, recording my video, and mirror talk. So these were my self talk, therefore it took so long time. It took 30 minutes and more than 30 minutes to practice with myself. So in this way I used to practice. So can you imagine that? Along with this was not my only task. Along with, I have to prepare what I am gonna teach them tomorrow. So I used to do that thing. Along with, I used to do practice for learning this language. So can you imagine? It was such a huge. So what was the time that I used to have my sleep? It was maybe 1 and between 1 to 2 a.m. at night. And in the morning I have to wake up 6:30. Otherwise I won't be able to have my bath and to get fresh and to cook. So it was something that I want to share with you. I don't like feel, I will not say this was my bad luck. I feel like, whatever you need, you have to do by yourself. So 6:30 I used to wake up in the morning, then I have to take bath, then after that I have to cook food. Yes, I have to cook food, then I had my cook and I packed my tiffin, then I go to school. So it was actually, but I found it interesting. Yeah, like, life is a struggle. You have to struggle for surviving. You have to do your all, whatever you need. You have to cook, you have to do everything. So it is full of struggle, it is full of challenges. There are full of challenges in your life. You have to accept it, and just you have to enjoy your journey. This was my story that I wanted to share with you for just a bit inspiration. Okay, so if I can, then why not you? Of course you can. One thing just you need, that is, you just need to push yourself. Okay, and you need one thing, that to be obsessed to learn this language, to be hungry for for learning this language. Okay, so that's it. It was my story. Bye bye.